All right. What's up, people? Welcome back to another Lee's Corner. Today is going to be fire because everybody knows there's been a lot going on, a lot going on in just the last couple of days. And we're here to talk about it. We're gonna cover it. We got basically just two topics today, but trust me, it's enough to feel how much time we need. This might be a short one, it might be a long one. I don't know yet. We're gonna depend. We both got shit to do today, but this is gonna be very interesting to tie this up. This is just a whole funny situation to me today. I'm bringing back on my man, Mr. Pratt, with us today. How you doing, Mr. Solomon Pratt?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, man.
Very good to say. Welcome around. I'm glad to be back. How's everybody doing? How you doing?
It's a great, interesting state of affairs. I got two topics for us today. Um, and one, of course, is, the elephant in the room is the attack on the Senate by a mob of angry, I'm going to be nice, Trump, uh, people for Trump who felt like the election was stolen from them. So I'm going to be nice. But they really thugs and criminals who basically broke into the U.S. Supreme Court building, and five dead, by the way, five dead. The other thing that we're going to talk about is the woman that was accused of attacking a teen in a New York hotel. I think we all know about that one too, right?
Yep, know about that one too.
Right. Originally, I thought she was a white girl, but that tan on her made me really, really, really wonder. And I found out later on that she was like Puerto Rican. But the fact of the matter is, privilege is privilege. And sometimes even people that are Hispanic want to think they white. We know this. They've been called out for it before on The View by Rosie Perez, talking about a lot of these Hispanics need to quit acting like they're white because they got black in they got black in them too. They need to quit tripping and acting like they're white. Oh, I'm from Spain. No, chick, you just as black as everybody else. All Mexicans and Hispanics have black in them. You got to realize we ruled Spain for over 900 years. Okay, stop tripping. But yeah, I think we're going to start to not go to the easy elephant in the room. I think we should start off by talking about her. I don't know if you've known her, but let me get my facts straight. Let me get this straight. Okay, so the woman accused of attacking a teen in New York hotel, arrested after fleeing boy's family. She finally speaks out. She actually gave several interviews, one to Gayle King, and I think she talked to the parents about how sorry she was. They felt like the sorry was not genuine. I don't know if you saw the one with Gayle King, but she was very rude. And but that's privilege. That's what privilege comes from. That's what that's all about, And listening to her talk just shows you more and more of her privilege, because it was a continuation of, the manager was trying to do this, and I was just trying to make sure no one else walked out the door, like, oh, so you security now. Now, if I'd have asked you to be security for the whole
you see, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, you see, she was all over her words. She was trip-trapping or whatever have you. Yes. No, I was trying to do this, and then she was jumping here. No, she didn't make any sense.
No.
I mean, it was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. She had no right to tackle another teenager like that. It was clear that she is racist. It doesn't matter that whether she is white or whether she's Puerto Rican or whether she is Asian, it doesn't matter. Racial discrimination is one race against another. Period. This is, I don't get, right, what her deal was. I was like, I mean, this is racial profiling. This has been going on with black people a lot. She knows that if she knew that, and if she's aware of that, and then she will be conscious of, okay, maybe I have to be very cordial of this, but she didn't. No, she directly said, no, there's a black person, and then she pointed. That's ridiculous, right? Because of the way she's been treated, and she is fair-skinned. Probably she has been treated like a white girl as well, so she gets away with this privilege. You know what I mean? So it doesn't excuse her whether she's Puerto Rican. I swear to God, no, that is completely wrong. When she was talking like that, and then she even said shush to Gayle,
yeah,
that is ultimately disrespectful in any kind of manner. That shows you.
And I would have to say this. I have to say this. I love the way that different cultures try to take African American ways of talking to try to insult African Americans. I think that's funny too. Like they love to assimilate the culture. It goes to that old adage: everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga, and that's what it is. That's the facts. And I will go see. I will say this because white people on my show have heard me say this for the longest time, and I've always said black people can't be racist, and they can't. We can be prejudiced. We can prejudge you, but we can't be racist because we don't have power. Now, if I was in Africa, I could be racist because I have equal power amongst the black people that they have among me. But in America, I don't have that power. Race plus power equals racism. I can't be racist and do anything to you. I can call you a nigga all day. I can call him a crack all day, but I can't do anything about it. If she's a white person,
to be blatantly honest, no offense, I actually believe that black people, there's certain black people who can be racist. They can be racist in a certain sense.
I'm just saying that's my own personal opinion. That's my own personal opinion.
That's cool.
And I just say because what I've seen in America, race plus power equals racism. A white person, if they had no power, they could call me a nigga all day. I wouldn't care. But because nigga holds so much weight and they used to hang you over that word, and a white woman of today can be on the street, call you a nigga, call the police and say, oh, he's hurting me. And they literally come and shoot me. That shows her power over me. If I call and a police officer say, this white woman is trying to kill me, please come help me, they will laugh me off the phone.
I agree.
I so agree. Power.
I so agree. Because the thing is as well, now let me, I agree with that because I agree with that people could be racist, but it's not really there I've not really seen that in any kind of black person, really. It's just what has happened to, our culture, right? It's that slavery, right?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It is completely a double standard.
Yeah.
It is a double standard. It always has been, and it is going to be for a little while longer, unfortunately. They need to fix this, and it's good.
And the problem is other people jump on that bandwagon, like this girl. They realize certain Hispanics, if you will, and other darkened cultures that can kind of pass. They have come to realize if I'm not blue black, I could get away with making this brother look like he's the bad guy and I'm the victim.
Right.
Because white folks do it every day. Why would they believe that he's a criminal? That's the whole thing they keep trying to perpetuate. In this particular
out for people.
Yeah. And this is in instance, you tackled, you 22-year-old woman. You ain't no teenager. You're a 22-year-old woman. You tackled a 14-year-old boy. Now, this would have been a street kid that would have knocked you on your ass. Then you'd have been crying, talking about, oh, he hit me, he punched me. Can you imagine if a black male, 22 years old, saw a 14-year-old girl and said, she got my phone, she's not going anywhere, and tackled her to the ground? This would not even be an argument right now. He would be in prison.
I agree.
She would be on every TV show in the U.S. talking about, he attacked me. I think he kind of grabbed my boob from the right when we fell to the ground.
Go too far.
He felt me up. He did this, that, and the other, and he just assaulted me. I don't know what to do. And she'd be getting all this kind of money and exclusives on this, exclusives on that, and all this other kind of crap. And she is up here doing interview out on bail. She's out on bail giving interviews to Gail, and she's like, Gail. I'm like, woo, what's like that? Wild chick. Now, I'm not a big fan of Gail's now. I'm not a big fan of Gail's because the way she talked about Kobe. But I don't like people, and Twitter and them don't like people disrespecting our black females. So I have to go along with that. I'm cool with that. Jump on this bitch for fucking with Gail. I get that. But yeah, this girl has a total of no respect at all. And I don't know, like I said, I played the card of maybe I thought she was white, maybe it was the privilege, but maybe the privilege is she has money. Maybe that's the privilege. I mean, she's bi-coastal. She's going different places by herself. So she has to have a little change on her. She was alone in the city of New York. Now she's back home in the confines of California. So she is bi-coastal. So she got a little change on her. Maybe that's her privilege. Maybe she thinks that I can do whatever I want to do. And that's the situation. She to me was acting like one of them Kardashian girls, trying to just think, well, I can do whatever I want to do. And I'm like, it's really sad that even when they found her phone, you don't go apologize to this kid and say, look, I'm really sorry. I was having a bad day and that's no excuse. But the fact is the bitch was racist. Let's be real. She thought the boy stole her damn phone.
Yeah,
But
and with no, like, with no other judgment or whatever have you, just pointed it at the very first person who she thought, which was a
right.
black
Oh, and then
person
she
and
gonna
a
come
young
and
kid,
she
by the
tells
way.
so many lies she can't keep together. Oh, well, I tried to stop everybody. No, but no, the fuck you didn't. Stop it. I accused everybody. Well, that makes it worse if you did, which I don't think you did.
Right. I mean, I was appalled because I work in hotel, right? And then like I was appalled the way like the employees, the way they handled it. I mean, it's just like, they whatever is going on right now, you know, and then there's very high emotion, very high tensions and stuff like that. I mean, instead of trying to go along with this so-called lady, because I mean, they didn't really de-escalate the situation. Say, hold on a second, you
Right.
know, um, just ask the person politely, okay, did you or did you not? And then, just tell her to, you have to de-escalate the situation. It's a point where you really do that, and then you handle the situation when they're not getting into that kind of confrontation. Where the heck were they?
The,
I mean, obviously they went on it,
I tell you what
and I was like,
I tell you what I saw in the video, which was interesting. This one got a lot of black people mad. The manager came over to the dude, did you that I don't have to answer shit from you. Why do we always have to cater to her? I can understand if she said, I saw him take this. Hold on one second. Let me get this right. Okay. I can understand if you heard her say, I saw him take it, then we need to have a conversation. But just the fact that he knows it, it's like every other situation. If somebody says, a white person says, or any person says, he has this, they don't say, I saw him take it, they automatically come to the black. Could you just empty out your pockets? No, you don't automatically cater to the other person's needs over mine.
Exactly.
That's not, you do that because I'm black, because I'm assumed guilty. That's period. That's how it always has been. I am assumed guilty because she said so. If that had been a white man in a suit or a white boy with a skateboard, he'd be like, "Bitch, get the fuck out my way," and they would have let him walk right out that door.
Right.
But because it was a black dude, we have to be guilty always of some kind of tomfoolery or some kind of theft or some kind of criminal activity. And I can see her there just stomping her little foot like I'm waiting for him to empty his pockets. And I'm like, you know what? And like I said, the management didn't help because they helped her. Well, sir, if you could, I ain't doing it. His daddy would tell him he ain't got to do nothing. He ain't got to talk to you. He ain't got to talk to you. And I'd have been the same way. I said, girl, tomorrow, well, his dad tackled me and threw me into the wall. Bitch, you lucky that wasn't me. You lucky that wasn't me. You would have been kissing asphalt. For real.
Yeah. I hear you.
My son, that is assault.
Yeah. I mean, they are pushing it. I mean, it's just like they thought that now because of the fact that they're thinking they can continue to get away with this, that more people are going to just back away and think they can just do whatever they want. No, it's not going to happen. Like black people now are going to start, striking back, especially when they're going to protect their own family. That's his own family. Yeah, you know what I mean? And she's complaining about a little push. Look, right? If it was the other way around, you know what I mean? It would have been worse. We all know this. What the heck? I just don't get this awareness now of people really, truly divided now. It's about fact and truth now at the end of the day, because now people now get misconstrued of what is true and what is wrong. You have this president is a very much of a poison.
Look,
and it's actually affecting other countries.
You know what? I'm gonna tell the honest truth here. Trump is not the problem. Trump. I'm trying to get my words correctly on this. Trump did not create racism. He allowed it. He allowed you to see it clearly.
He's the mouthpiece.
Yes, he allowed you to see it clearly. He unraveled it for you. He said, "I'm going to show you what I can do." And these people that sit here and think that, oh, it's just 1% of the population, you got shown to be false. This man got 70 million people to vote for him. That's 70 with an M, million. Now, let's just say a quarter of that 75 million want to be violent. That's a lot. But see, this ain't nothing that black people don't already know. We knew that the world was divided. Look, even when we had slavery, people would always get mad at other white people and say, why didn't y'all do nothing? Y'all must be content. Yeah, they were content. And I'll give you another thing too. They were content and they were also scared because white people know how white people treat traders. So the moment you go off half cocked with your 50,000 white folks against the other 75 million who want slavery, what you think they're going to do to your families? They're going to fuck y'all up. So you had to be content with slavery. I'm not taking up for white people because you could have done some shit about it. But I think a lot of them was afraid of what would happen to them if they did stand up against people who wanted to have slaves. Because you got to realize.
They'll be overwhelmed.
Yeah, most people couldn't afford slaves. That was only for the people that had money. Most of these poor folks couldn't. And that's what I don't understand about these poor pieces of trash today. It's just like in the slavery days and in Jim Crow days. They're continually being used. This mob is continuously being used by the rich to do their bidding. Look, Donald Trump's in office. He ain't done shit for poor people in West Virginia. He ain't done shit for poor people in Idaho. He ain't done shit for the poor white folks at all. But these motherfuckers will go to the death for him. Why? Because he's doing something for them? No, because they hate niggas. See? That's the one thing they have in common. They hate niggas. Well, if as long as they don't, like they said, they traced everything back to the 1619 Project. Back in the 1619 Project, when they let the slaves go, they were about to give a free health care to everybody. And so the whites said, well, niggas get it too. And they said, yeah. They said, no.
That's crazy.
They will shoot themselves in the foot just to make sure we don't get anything. That's why when we went to the Capitol and you saw all of this shit happening, let me go ahead and just transition this into the U.S. Capitol thing where they attacked it. Let's go on that real quick. We're going to switch over to that one. That's why when they attacked it, there were no patriots there. These were nigga-hating motherfuckers there. They had strings and zip ties and everything. They really wanted to put these motherfuckers on trial and kill them. It wasn't going to be no fair trial. It was a mock trial, of course. But they wanted to kill these people. Why? They want to overturn the government and do what? Half these rednecks wouldn't know what to do with the government if they got it. What are you going to do? But they hate anybody that's not white. I keep telling people this. They don't understand. All this fear mongering that Trump has done and all this underground talking, shithole countries and Muslim ban this and Muslim ban that and this, that, and the other. And I keep trying to tell white people, this is what killed me. You go to CNN, here they go. Even Fox News. Here you go.
Too many.
I didn't see it coming.
Every single time. Every single time.
This is not us. This is not, motherfucker, it ain't you. You had slaves. You had Jim Crow. Every time you turned your motherfucking head when a nigga got shot and said, he might have done something, or when a cop put the knee on his fucking neck, well, it probably was his fault. Every time you turned your motherfucking head, you enabled that shit to keep going. And now when the chickens come home to roost, you want to sit up here and start talking about, what did we do? You should have seen them white people in the Senate crying and hiding. I was laughing. I was like, oh, they're coming to get you. Your own people coming to get you. Yeah, you can get mad at me if y'all want to. I don't give a fuck. Your own chickens coming home to roost. And chickens coming home to roost ain't never made me sad. It's always made me glad. Your own shit backfiring on you. The evil and the shit that you put out there coming back to roost on you. Good job. Bravo. Bravo. Now you're talking about you want the motherfucker out. He dangerous. Oh, now he's dangerous? He wasn't dangerous 4 years ago when he got in, 2 years ago, 3 years. Now he's dangerous. When they attack you, once again, white on white, now he's dangerous. Your thoughts, Solomon? I'm sorry. Your thoughts.
No, that's okay because, you know what I mean? You are completely right. You know what I mean? That incident kind of had to happen in order for them to see, but it's unfortunate. Because now it just shows that can the government really protect their people, and can the government really be diplomatic about this, and the credibility of it is kind of dwindling, which is sad because the rest of the world are looking at it more of a influential piece, but China's already kind of getting prepared and stuff like that, because they're going to become more of a financial power than the United States soon, and that is very, very apparent. And if we don't be careful and take action, a lot of the times is like they're thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, when their lives threatened, then they want to do something about it. No, the proof was in the pudding. The pudding. When you actually brought up impeachment the first time, why didn't you just impeach him? Because deep down, there's something going on. Maybe if they impeached him in the first time, this wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
This is the stuff
I get exactly what you're saying. The fact of the matter is, every Republican Party, everybody in the Republican Party felt like they are held hostage by him. And the reason why is what you see going on now.
Good.
When Pence,
you should feel the heat in the back of the neck.
When Pence said no to him about turning over those votes, when Pence told the president no, do you know this motherfucker's getting death threats now? See, this is what the rest of the Republican Party, all these cowards with no spines, are worried about. Him turning his minions on them. That's what he's scared. I said, but he wouldn't have been able to get that powerful if you assholes wouldn't have backed him in the first place. But you made it like that he could do no wrong, and that was it. And he has a mouthpiece. He can say anything he wants to. He's the president. He's proven this. He can say anything he wants to. I can kill somebody, or you kill these people over here, or beat them up. I'll pay your legal fees. He can say stuff like that, stuff that me and you would say on Facebook or anything else. And not only are we kicked off Facebook, but the police are coming to our home talking about we made a threat on Facebook.
Right. That's ridiculous.
He can do it from 16 Pennsylvania Avenue all day long. And it's like, what's he doing wrong? What's he doing wrong? You see all the news places, and now they sitting up here with their mouths open. I've said this on Lee's Corner hundreds of times. White people are so blinded by their own privilege that it's going to kill them. I said they're so blinded by their own privilege they can't see what's going on around them. I said it was going to come to pass, and it's coming to pass. Now they're sitting here looking like, what happened? How did it have gotten this far? I could have told you that. All the hate that you have put out there for us is coming back to get you. People do not understand one thing in this world. People don't understand one thing in this United States, I should say. The better we all do, the better we all do. In other words, for so long here, they have tried to make us get by on $1.15 while raising every other price.
Right.
Food, lodging, gas, everything, but still paying you $2 while swearing we don't have the money to pay you more. Okay? Now, the reason why they're doing that is they want to see how much they can suck you dry. And then they sit up here and say, well, trickle down economics. If we give, like Trump is doing, if we give the tax breaks to the billionaires, they'll trickle down some money to the poor folks. Well, that has been proven to not be true because they didn't create more jobs. What they did is kept their coffers full of their money or reinvested it within themselves. So they didn't give money back or more jobs to the people. But see, that's what's causing this inrush, a part of it, with these white people that's going crazy now. They going crazy. See, black folks, we being poor. We know about know about Stone Soup. We know about hot dogs. We know how to make $1.15 last. These white folks don't know nothing about this stuff, so they just lose their minds. You can't. But my point is, if these people would realize, if you would pay us a decent wage, we would come and buy your shit.
Yeah.
We would make you even more profitable. But you can't pay us $2.15 and then tell me a house costs $554 million for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath.
That's true. It's true.
You can't do that. And then make my gas go up to $5 a gallon. You come on. You can't do that. I'm sorry. You can't do that and expect people to come and buy your products. That's why you got now. That's why you got now is watching the 90s on TV. And they were talking about the age of Napster and all this kind of stuff. Why do you think people file share, not steal, file share with movies and movies, videos and music? Why do you think they do that? Because you have squeezed them so tightly that they don't have the money to go out there and buy your digital downloads. They don't have the money to go out there and buy your movies. They complaining all the time because they don't have the money.
Exactly.
So if Solomon has it, I'm going to go get it from Solomon. And if I got it, I'm going to give it to Chad. And then Chad's going to give it to somebody. And that's taking money out of your pockets because you are being greedy. And like I said, I'm just really glad to see that it's white people doing it. Oh, I'm so glad to see it. Oh, I'm tickled pink. Because when the Black Lives Matter came up there, they had an army on there. You're not coming up here. You're not coming up here.
Oh, yeah. It was fully stacked out there. And already ready, prepared beforehand.
Exactly. And what do we find out now? That the FBI and everybody else called the Washington, D.C. police and said, hey, you got Trump supporters coming this week. Y'all want some help? Oh, no, we got it.
Yeah.
We cool.
Right. We
got it. But a lot of people now are saying, what do you think about the idea, Solomon, of the inside jobs that people are talking about? There's a black congressman that said he had a secure secret office without no nameplate that was broken into. He said that had to be an inside job because no one knew my secret office.
Yeah, I do. It's very hard to say, but you know what? I do believe that they probably, someone who was on the inside is somewhat, they activated, because I do believe they have moles here. Like this white supremacy group, they have been embedded for a very, very long time. So it's a very tricky thing. What's this?
I don't know if you know that woman, but she's a QAnon congresswoman named Lauren Boebert.
You see what I mean? I don't like this. The QAnon group. It's just that QAnon group is a very, very dangerous group. And it's very much turned down this democracy for real.
She's facing calls to resign, and she might even get charged with charges. Guess why this is?
That's funny, because look, a lot of them are stepping down even before because they don't even want to get to even say anything on record because of the fact.
Yes.
So that's what.
But she's a congressman. Guess why she might be getting charged though? They're asking her to step down for one reason, but she might be getting charged for another one too. The same reason. How about when they raided the place? She was telling people on her phone where Nancy Pelosi was hiding within the building.
No.
Play by play. And they said that there's more people, senators and stuff that was in on it as well. That was telling people where certain congressmen were and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, this is an inside job, man. Even down to the police officers. They got people that they said that was on the police staff. They found out was in them. They said FBI said it's going to blow your mind when you find out how many people were in. But this goes back to what I said before. Why are you surprised? Black people have been telling you before that KKK, white supremacists has infiltrated, but it wasn't necessarily infiltration. White supremacy has always been there. It's never left since Jim Crow era. It's never left. It's with your judges. It's with your this. They didn't have to come in. They were already there. But white people just starting to get it. Like, wait a minute. You turned against me, but we're both white. Yeah, but you're not. They're kind of white. You're not their kind of white. You're not their kind of white. You've been thinking about the red, white, and blue for so long, and you want to help the Negroes and everybody. I said, you got to realize this is a country who stole a country from Native Americans, put them on reservations after killing most of them, then imported slaves to do the work for them. Then when they got free, put them under Jim Crow rule. And we ain't even gonna go into the tortures and the hangings and the murders and all that type of stuff. But then you got the nerve to sit here and tell the free world about their crimes, and you have none. I'm glad the world is looking at you and saying, because what you've been telling people ain't never been true.
Right.
America, where we do everything right and we love our people. Shut the fuck up. You talk about Saddam Hussein and gassing their people, you gassed your people. What else you got? You talk about inhumane treatment? Look at 2 million black men that you have in prison right now, and look at the ones you have in solitary confinement. Their mind literally degrading and going insane for being put in solitary confinement for years on edge, for years on end.
Yep.
Hold on a second.
I agree.
I just lost my thing. I know you can see. I know you can probably see me, but I can't see you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see me, but I can't see you. I'm trying to go back to it. I don't know what happened to it. You can still see me, right?
Yeah, I can still see you. And
just trying to. There we go. Okay. I don't know why that popped up, but it did. But yeah, I mean, and so I'm glad America is getting a taste of its own medicine, and its time has come, and I'm waiting so much, like I said, for people to talk about this, because the whole point is that America has never been that America that you've talked about. It never has been. There's never been a time in American history where it's been what you talk about. People always like to say, well, it's never been that bad. Yeah, that's rich niggas that's saying that shit. It was bad, but it's got better. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong. We're not in cotton fields and we ain't in chains. I'm not saying that. And it's not as bad as it was then. But I'm saying when you still got a police force that's acting like slave overseers, it is that bad. When you still got the job ratios that we have, it's still that bad. When they still looking at us as we're thieves and murderers and all this other kind of stuff, yeah, it's still that bad. When you can't get along,
it's actually the ideal. It is the ideal of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because people can be converted. There have been actually KK. I can't remember his name, Mr. Black. He was a white supremacist who went completely against it. Mm-hmm. But the thing is as well, I think it's just the ideal of it. They need to kill that ideal, but you can't kill an ideal over hundreds of years, you know what I mean, of like slavery. You know what I mean? Because that's the main thing there. It's just the ideal of that.
Me and you agreed on something that I kept trying to tell Eric that he did not get. He didn't understand the idea of like what Martin Luther King said and Malcolm X didn't say, but he knew to be true. And that is changing hearts and minds matter. And the Bible speaks of the same thing. It's like, it's not good enough. What, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically it says something to the effect of what good is it just being friends with people you know? To change the heart of your enemy is one of the biggest things you could ever do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some people would actually prefer to stay with the people I like, stay with people I know. But if you was to change the heart of your enemy, that's more precious than anything that you could ever do, because you change the whole mindset. Eric said, we don't have time to change minds. I ain't got time for that. We got homework to do, black people. Yes, we do, but we can do both at the same time.
At the same time.
Bashing heads and talking rhetoric and talking shit ain't always going to be the way, and it's not going to always get it done. Black people are always proven, and you see in all these white movies that you see, why do you think they always got us like the mystical black people that always speak the words of wisdom, and all the vagabonds and all the other movies where you see special, unique, magical black people, and the critics get mad because they always get, why you got these magical black people here? Because white people know the truth. Deep down, they know the truth, that we're the original man and we are the spiritual man. They know that, and they know what they've done. Mm-hmm. They know the dirt that they've done. They know the dirt that they've done. Down.
Inherently in their heart, like, people, you gotta know, like, kind of what a spirit, is telling you, and I'm sure that because black culture has experienced that much pain, you can express that much more as well to the rest of the world and that. And I'm glad, because a lot of white people as well really start to capture that as well. But see, which got them to the point where they're fighting amongst each other. And like we have these people from this time, like Eric, give him as well, you know what I mean? I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, he comes from this time. He's like, we ain't got no time for this. We ain't got no time for that. People will forget it's stretched over time. This is a long war.
Now, what you're saying is so important, because this is what I keep trying to connect with Eric on. He's very smart. He knows a lot of things. And I know his age really pushes him to the point of where he's so mad for. And I understand, to be a black man in America is to be angry all the time. But I said, you have to let that go. I have done my research. Racism and stress on black people is one of the biggest killers. It ain't heart attacks. It ain't the way the food that we eat. Racism is the biggest stressor we have. And I also told him what you said before. I kept trying to tell him, you need to learn to pull out from the world. You need to look at history. Right. You need to look at it biblically, and you need to look at the history that they have. If you look, you'll see. We have, Africa has been around for over 37 dynasties. Okay? White boy has only been on top for a minute. The Western world has only been here for a minute. Now, I know you're mad because that 400 years is a lot of time to be in slavery. I get it. But what you have to realize, like you said, It's a time thing. Look at the big picture. Look at the big picture. And he refuses to see the big picture. It's just like, March, let's go get him now. I'm tired of waiting. Let's go get him now. And I'm like, listen, I see your head. I see it's going a mile a minute. I get it. I get it. But to say that we haven't made any advances in 50 to 60 years, that's just lying to you. That's just lying.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This is not a time for war. I mean, it is kind of, because we have to be alert right now. Everybody has to be alert, especially
we have to be smart about this.
We have to be smart about it. But the thing is, it's also time for a change where we have to kind of educate ourselves of who we are. You know what I mean? Because we are amongst each other. Our population as a humankind is growing. You know what I mean? And I think to a certain point, it might even dwindle. But the thing is, that's if we, if we keep doing this kind of stuff to us ourselves, we're gonna start perishing as a human race, one way or another. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's a time we either have to change now and start learning as a human race, or like we would literally, as that saying goes, we'll destroy ourselves. Like we have the ability to destroy ourselves.
Right.
We're doing that.
And I agree, because that's one thing that Eric said that he would agree to you 100%. We as Black people have to educate ourselves more. That's his biggest thing. And I've always said, yes, I agree. We have to educate ourselves, but Eric's way of educating ourselves is to pull yourself out of society. And I'm like, we can't pull ourselves out of society and just educate ourselves and do nothing else. I said, because if it was up to him, he didn't like none of our new candidates. They all got dirt on them. So he would go and put his head in the sand for the next 4 years. I said, well, that's not helping us. You're going to put your head in the sand for the next 4 years is not helping us.
Yeah, because he's relying on this government, which, no offense, we can't rely on the government. We have to take action ourselves to continue to tell our stories, to continue to prove like we are human beings, to continue to do that.
I'll tell you like this, Eric's biggest problem to me, and I've always said this, and I told him to his face, is Eric lives on the fringes of society. He's like, in the comic books, he's like the Watcher. He lives on the fringe. He lives off the grid. He has no connections. He has no, I can leave in the whim. I have no connections. I have no this. So it's easy for him to say, I could put my head in the sand for 4 more years and wait. I want a pro-Black candidate. I want somebody that's going to do this. And I'm like, okay, but you might not get that. Okay. So you got to work with what we have. We got Black Lives Matter, NAACP, Color of Change, and all these other groups. Since he got in, you hear the coming in president now, even telling us, I wouldn't have been here if it was Black people. You can't tell me I would have got here if it wasn't for Black people. It was the Black vote that got me here. He also has said on national TV, I would have known if this would have been Black Lives Matter, it'd have been a whole lot different situation if they would have attacked that white. So he's letting you know, he's ramping you up, and we're keeping in his ear like, okay, we got your ass in. We want some food on our table. We want some protection from these cops. We want some jobs. We want our money. We want everything. We're telling them. So that's why I said that's what we got to do. We can't pull back and say, since he wasn't a juicy Black brother, then we just gonna hold our vote and sit here. No, we have to engage to get what we want. This is what I was trying to educate him about the situation. But like I said, there are a lot of older people who don't want to hear younger people talk. We don't know enough. We ain't been around long enough.
That's so naive.
I know.
That's so naive.
We don't know enough.
When I was actually coaching, my seventh, I coached my 7th grade team basketball team, and boys and girls as well. They taught me a lot of things as well, like during the process as well. I let it happen. They made my life better. You know what I mean? I was thinking about that, because that idea as well of like, oh yeah, our youngers, like, whatever, we're not going to even listen to them. That is just folly, because the thing is, information.
You can never stop learning.
Key.
You can't never stop
learning.
Yeah.
You can never stop learning. It doesn't matter who it's from, whether you are old or whether you're young. You know what I mean? Education. That's why we hold ourselves back sometimes.
Exactly. I've never looked at a person and been like, I've never looked at a person and been like, you too young to give me advice. Never.
Right.
I've never. Right. The only time I've ever not taken somebody's advice is if the shit sounded stupid. That's the only time.
So you gotta take everything with a pinch of salt, right?
Right. But if somebody's dropping knowledge and they 2 years younger than me, I'm looking at them like, you don't say. What else you got? You know what I'm saying? That's me.
Right.
I ain't ashamed of my game. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, boy, you too young. Go away. You don't know nothing. To me. No, because the Bible also says, and a child shall lead them, which means children have knowledge too. So you got to be very careful
wealth of knowledge.
who you try to say don't have knowledge, because just because you don't want to hear it because you're older, that could be at your own apparel, not listening to younger people. And I think me and him have talked about this before too. I think that's his problem to me. There's an age gap. There's an age gap there, and that's what I made fight. When we on here, we on one accord. When me and him on here, we on one accord. But we have a lot of personal talks, and it's just like, damn, dude, for real. Because he want to think he like 30. And I'm like, you ain't 30 no more. And he want to be this young cat. And I'm like, no, you're not that. Because you sound like a 60-year-old man. That's what you sound like. You sound old and bitter. You know what I'm saying? You sound old and bitter. And he was like, well, I don't mean to come off like that. I said, well, you do. And but yeah, man, this whole thing is like, I'm watching. It actually puts a smile on my face when I'm watching these court hearings now, and the FBI, we're gonna get them, and we're gonna get all the guys, and we got 162 people. They're on a no-fly list now, and we got this. Then I'm just sitting here salivating like.
I know that's the good thing. That's the one I feel good at heart, because it feels like now at least we caught a break. At least now we can sit back and just
this is time for us
to watch them deal with the situation, because it is a very, very serious and deep issue.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And for them to see that. So hopefully that they can, sort that out. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I would like to tell everybody right now.
Have a changing course of time.
Exactly. No, you're good. I'd also like to tell everybody that's watching. I'll tell y'all this. In case y'all haven't been watching news, you don't know. They said that come the inauguration, or maybe even sooner, y'all might want to be on the lookout. Every state capital is supposed to be attacked. And some local state, not state, but local places might get attacked too. So black folks, be on your guard. There could be groups of white people out here looking to start trouble. Yep. Please, if you do, go out in groups, okay? Have weapons on the ready. Protect yourself. Please. Don't let these white boys catch you by yourself. That's what they're looking for. Don't let them catch you by yourself. Go out in groups. I've said this before when they started tripping one time before, because a lot of these guys, some of these guys are ex-military and some of them just crazy. So please be with other black people and be weaponized. Be ready. If you got guns, get them. Handguns, legal. Make sure they're legal, because you know they're trying to get you. If you got shotguns, bring your shotties with you. Make sure whatever's legal in your state. I am not saying no violence. I'm saying protect yourself. That's all I'm telling y'all to do, because these white boys are crazy and they looking to kill anybody in their way. We just had an attack in downtown LA. Did you hear about that? Where they attacked that black woman?
Briefly. Yeah. Oh, yes. I heard about that yesterday. And you know what? It's funny because it's very tricky. You see this big white guy, redheaded, who looked like a supremacist, who saved her.
Yeah.
Who saved her.
Yeah.
Saved her. So
because it got me at first. I was like, oh, you motherfucker. But then they said, no.
Yeah. He saved her.
Wow,
he saved her. So we have to really be careful.
Because I thought he had her in a bear hug. And I was like, oh, you son of a bitch. But he got her out of there. It only could have been a white person. If it had been two brothers that went over there, they probably would have jumped him. But if it had been 20 of them, it'd have been different. Like I said, it's always funny that they don't do that shit to about 30 brothers walking down in LA. Because we got some. Just come do that down there with them. Come on.
Right.
I'll take it to the bad areas. Let's do that. But yeah, man, it's an amazing time in history, because you can tell. Hopefully, this is the beginning of the changing of the guard. And maybe we can get somewhere a little more honest, and black people can, people always talk about, I hate when black people always talk about, we're always just fighting for a fair place. Hell, I'm fighting for something higher than fair. I'm tired of being fair. Yeah. White folks done been living on high for 400 years. Y'all talking about just getting a little bit, just being fair. Fuck fair. Shit. What about what we went through 400 years? I want more than fair. I want my money. Then we can talk fair. Fuck the bullshit. I'm tired of that. Everybody, we should be okay with just being fair. Namaste. Fuck that bullshit. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm sick of it. Because the fact of the matter is, they kick us around 400 years, and we supposed to always continuously just be the moral ones. We're supposed to be the ones with the moral compass all the time. And like I said before, I'm glad black folks are staying out of this. They shouldn't be getting in no way. It ain't their problems. You know, it ain't their problem.
Yeah, I know.
This is
It's
nothing.
crazy. I know. It's funny how you said that as well. It's like how we supposed to be the moral ones, because the thing is as well, every single time we hold up with truth and honesty as well,
Mhm.
we're moral. And the thing is as well, which scares me at this time, because even I was seeing a couple of other YouTube videos with black militia or something like that. I was like, man, they are very well equipped and weaponized, you know what I mean, prepared and stuff like that. But at the same time as well, like we can continue to be that race who has always been the better
Hey,
race, and start
I,
doing that. Because if we do that, and then you know what I mean, we can be a very foundational and stable race
look,
that
I
we
don't
can
have a
become.
problem, and people been saying this for years. I don't have a problem. I know we got several of them around the way. We got several black militias, and we need to have them to protect
So I
ourselves.
do agree.
We need to
Mhm.
have them protect ourselves. I'm not saying start no shit, but I'm saying if
Oh
shit break
yeah,
off, we need to be
and
ready.
forgive me. I'm not saying that we
Oh,
don't need them, because we actually absolutely really do need them right
yeah,
now, right? And
we
that's a
truly do.
fact,
As a
and that's
barrier,
a scary fact.
yeah, as a barrier of
You know
some
what I
kind of
mean?
protection, because you know white boys been training for this for forever, and
For a long time. So
so
yeah,
we
so
need to be
it's a
ready too.
beautiful thing that they are here. Don't get me wrong, but you know what
Yeah,
I'm
and
saying.
they got
Bigger
they got
picture.
gun clubs and stuff now. They got black gun clubs in Atlanta, Georgia. They got groups that you can join now that actually show you how to work your weapons, show you
Mm.
how to do your stuff. And oh wow, okay, that's interesting.
Well, I need to know that kind of information as well, because that's what I'm really training for anyway.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. Sometimes you just gotta turn off your phone.
That's,
Oh, my
oh,
lantern.
you're a busy man.
No, just people want to bother me. Okay, turn off the phone. Off. There we go. All right. We found out how to do that today. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, don't nobody want to call me till I start doing this. Then everybody want to call me. And then they want to call me 5 and 6 times. Um, but yeah, man, it's just this thing is really crazy, and I'm energized by it because as I watched it, I was just
Me
like,
too.
I just kept wondering like, how far were they going to get up there, and then like
Hmm.
where are the cops and why are the cops letting them in, and
Yep.
and then it was just like, where are the other cops? I'm looking at my watch. No, no,
Yeah.
I'm like, where
You
are
know,
the
though, you know what? I'll give it to that. I'll give it to that black cop though.
yeah.
He kind of faked that crowd. That
He
was
did a
just
good
beautiful.
he did a good
It was
okey
just
doke on there. He got him.
he did. He did. I
He
love
did.
the okey doke. He
Yeah.
checked one time, led him like, okay, yeah, led him a different
Because
way. That
he let him away from the senator's quarters, which was very nice.
was
Uh,
very close too. Yes, and it was a very good move. I
first,
really
they were
was.
talking about that on MSNBC, and I was like, I would have shot them motherfuckers, man. And they was like, well, you know, if it had been a white dude or a Mexican, they would have shot him. But you know what happens to black cops when they shoot white men? I said, I know. And they stormed the Capitol. I guarantee you they still found a way to get this black man time if he'd done it. And they was coming at him. I mean, he feared for his life, literally. That's the best time to shoot somebody. But we know what happens when
Yes.
black cops shoot white people. We know what happens. So I guess he was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I guess he was like,
Double
look,
standard once again.
I guess he was like, I ain't trying to go to prison for nobody, so I'll just lead them the wrong way and
Mm-hmm.
fuck it. And then the white, I think it was a white cop, I'm not sure, but he shot a woman. She's dead.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. I think. Yeah, but yeah, just I
Yeah,
think it was an Air Force, but pilot. I'm not sure
yeah.
who it
And I
was.
bet you
But
he wasn't even worried about that bitch. He's like, I shot her. She
no,
was
he's
getting
like, no,
away.
you ain't coming in here. It was
Right.
like, no, this is my job. Because
And
when
that,
when the Secret Service draw their guns, they intend to shoot and kill. That's it.
oh yeah.
And they never draw their. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's just like they have the guns out. They're
Yeah.
gonna shoot you.
That was
They're gonna shoot you.
that was crazy. It was the funniest thing I ever seen because I was like, they were showing live footage and they had breached the inside of the rooms. And they were sitting in Pelosi's chair, and I'm like, oh, really?
The disrespect, the audacity. I could not believe that.
And I thought it was a beautiful thing on several times. This is the problem. This is the thing that might confuse people about me. As disrespectful as it was, and it was, I kind of liked it. I wish it would have been an all people thing, like a black, white, Puerto Rican, everybody thing. And the only reason why I say that is just to show these motherfuckers who's really in control. Because if you think about all the time they waste in the Senate, giving us our stimulus money, not giving this, not giving us the stuff we need, making it wait 2 or 3 months before we get this, waiting for this, black people trying to get this rule passed, white people trying to get this rule passed, and they just sitting there on their ass collecting dough. Well, I think I'm gonna go on vacation. We'll be back next month. We'll take it. Meanwhile, regular people dying because they're not getting this stuff. Right. So yeah, to me, it was a wake-up call that you need to do your fucking job. Because, here's a question I have for you. Dave was talking about the other day. A couple senators, Democrats and Republicans, but a couple senators were on a flight, some of them were at restaurants, and were hassled by people because they weren't doing their jobs. Now, they said you should not be allowed to hassle senators or congressmen like that. And I'm like, what's your thought on that? Do you think, like, if you're not doing your job, you should be reminded by the people? Am I right? Ain't like you could take a meeting with them.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
I don't say violence now. I don't say violence. I'm just talking about, like, if they're outside your restaurant, they're like, do your job. They were like, that's so rude, and you should never do that to a senator. Tell me your thoughts on that. They ain't doing their job. What you think?
I'm kind of glad that the white people did that, because the thing is, we won't have to deal with that.
Right.
But the thing is as well, like, no, I think, you know what I mean, it was a rude awakening to them. You know what I mean? They should be doing a job, because all of this time that people were, I mean, I'm fine because, like, I'm at home, but there were millions of people, there were 1,000 people getting killed daily because of what's going on. You know what I mean? And people were suffering daily because of what's going on. And they just get to just coast through it. No, there's people out here hustling 2-3 jobs, then getting extra jobs, trying to do this for that. And then people losing their jobs, helping other people. It just doesn't make any sense. And people trying to do this in the midst of being sick when they know they shouldn't be outside, but they got to be outside. This is a snowball effect that they need to realize that is a dumb mistake. You let these people breach their capital and you weren't prepared. Now, other countries see that, as well as your own people. It's a dangerous thing. You need to sort out what is going on here. You need to attend to your people. If you do not attend to your people as well, you don't lead by example. You need to lead by example in order for you to, like, help your nation grow. It doesn't make any sense. Every time they're showing laziness, it shows, like, how much this country can just break. And it is breaking. And they need to do something about it. Because if they do not, it's going to be a lot worse. And the thing is, this is a time of great chaos. Beautiful things can happen.
Oh yeah,
and that is the time for it.
Most definitely, that's the biggest thing that, like I said before, people over the years, they talked about how people has lost trust and trust in Congress over the years because nothing gets done. And you know what you're actually seeing is a display of that. And I'm not even talking about the what they did to the building. This has been building for a while. You remember when Obama was in office? When Obama was in office, 2 people jumped the fence and went up to the White House door. Now I thought you couldn't even get that close to the White House. I thought if you jumped the fence, I thought the damn White House would transform into a transformer and start shooting. I thought gun turrets would come up from the ground and start shooting everybody in the, but I was like, it was that easy for this motherfucker just to run up to the front door of the White. It was 2 times this happened. And I'm sitting here like, whoa, security's laxed. What is this about? So it was always coming. And before this happened at the Capitol, you have had people who have found senators out their favorite restaurants and have been at the windows talking about go back to work, because they haven't been doing. And I think that's completely appropriate. It's not like we can take a meeting with you to voice our concerns. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we can say, well, I have a meeting with, Mr. Coolidge today at 3:00. Yeah, look, I'm a citizen in your district and you still ain't done shit in months. What's going on, man? I can get some people to pull some of your support. See, we don't get that time. Oh, they'll tell you you can make an appointment, but how far out that's going to be? A year, 2 years out? And you ain't going to be able to talk to everybody in your district, right? How many times do they have, what do you call them? Those community hall things or situations like that? Only when they up for re-election. That's the only time they want to come down and take your temperature to see how you feel about what they've been doing is when they're about to get reelected.
Yeah.
You know, what about when you ain't doing
bad.
shit? Right. They want to
Exactly.
talk to you. So I have no
Now
problem.
things are changing now because that's why technology is a very, very, very scary thing for them because it's decentralizing what they can do. Because with technology is fast, is improving.
Oh yeah.
It's giving people the power to do things for themselves, to make money for themselves. These young cats, there's a lot of young cats now are millionaires now because they're just doing. There's a little kid, I can't remember his name or whatever have you, selling toys on YouTube, making money. I mean, come on. There's these little girls on. There's like twin girls on Instagram. You know what I mean? All these little young followers are following them. I mean, they're making like millions. It is ridiculous. You know what I mean? This technology is going to be that game changer. I think they have a little bit of a fear because of like they kind of don't know a little bit, but they're trying to get in with it. You know what I mean? But they're not used to it. It will not be their kind of world anymore. It will just
Guess who made
it will actually, sorry, it will always be a government. Sorry, there will always be a government, forgive me. But it will just make the technology is making things easier.
Yeah,
things,
oh yeah.
I mean, there will always be a government. Sorry about that.
Guess who made the most money during this entire year of 2020? Jeff Bezos, Apple, Google.
Yeah.
They've made billions and trillions throughout this entire time frame where everybody else is losing their jobs, everything else. They have been making tons of dough. Now, they like to say that the liberals are Marxist. Marxist, I don't know if you're familiar with Marxism, but the whole idea of the poor rising up to redistribute the wealth, to take the money from the rich. And I'm like, well, in fact, if we gave it to them, we should be able to take it away, especially if they're not willing to give it back in forms of jobs. If that's what you said you were going to do and you didn't do it, don't be mad if people come up and take a stranglehold to you, because the fact of the matter is you took their money and promised them jobs that you did not deliver. So if you want to call me a Marxist, call me a Marxist. I believe in that. Talking about, well, you still
didn't he? Wasn't it like like there's a lot of people not getting jobs, right? Is that what I'm like? Say, go back again.
Yeah, it's okay. It's the whole Reagan trickle down economics that never worked. It was a bullshit idea that never worked, and that is if you continue to give tax cuts to the rich had promised to give jobs.
Yeah.
We're job creators, so we should get the tax breaks, not the middle class, but us.
Right.
The thing is, the fact of the matter is, they didn't create jobs, and they reinvested in themselves and in the stock market and made trillions, but did not give more jobs. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. How are you going to be making trillions of dollars, and then your people in your factory want $15 an hour to survive, and you say no?
It's so crazy because that's what I felt this so like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It was crazy. I was feeling like right in the back of my neck. And I had to do the history of that as well. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like this thing, I don't know what happened.
Bill Clinton said one time, I remember the interview I saw with Bill Clinton. He said 30 years, but now it's more like 40. 30 to 40 years ago, there was a time where people were running companies and they would only lay off the people that were, if they had to, were the people that were single, because they knew that, they didn't lay off people that had families. They just laid off people that were single because they knew they could go get a job somewhere else. And you didn't want to, they thought about the people that worked for them. They said now the grandchildren of these companies and younger guys who got companies like Google and all these other young people that came up, they don't care. What can we do to maximize profits? That's it. What can we do to maximize profits? Oh, we got to cut this whole section? Cut that whole section. We got to send this to Mexico? Send that to Mexico. We got to send this to China? Send that to China. And I'm just like, well, if you're going to do that if I was running America, I'd be like, okay, well, if that's what you're going to do, we're going to tax you double for outsourcing stuff to Mexico and China. Because if you want to live that good by not giving our people jobs, then you can live over there in Mexico and China. But while you're here, we need to get the jobs. But the thing is, they don't want to pay Americans the jobs because in America, you're supposed to get paid what you're worth. They can go over there to China, pay them $2.